basically, what it says in help is that it returns the individual term binomial distribution probability, use binom dist in problems, blah, blah, blah. So it even tells you when to use it. So if you're thinking, oh, should this be a binom dist or should it be a Poisson, which is what we're going to learn about in a minute, you can actually read out the thing. And seeing I'm going to abandon Blackboard here, it's clearly not doing anything helpful. We'll go to Excel. And so how you work, okay, you have a blank one open because we're just using the spreadsheet as a calculator, and we go equals binom dist, and we open our brackets, and then we click on this FX thing up here, and that gives us our little box. Okay, now if you can't see it up on the screen, don't worry, because it's on your next sheet in front of you. Okay, and then if you go for help on this function, it says returns the individual term binomial probability distribution. Click on help, and it tells you, and it gives you, and it says an example. Examples are always really good. For example, binom dist can calculate the probability that 2 of the next 3 babies born are male. Okay, so they've got example there, and they've got some remarks and so on. And there's some examples there on how to use it. So if ever you're stuck, go to the help. That's what it's there for. Okay, so we have syntax, is that it's going to have the 4 different arguments, which are numbers, number of successes, trials, probability, and cumulative. And so let's have a look at how we use it. So say we were going to make this as a model, like the one I just did with the little graphs and stuff. I'd put number of trials in there, which is 4. I put my probability of successes as 0.1. I put my number of successes as 0.2. And in here I've got a formula. And my formula refers to each of those. And that's how I did it last year, because I hadn't thought up this idea of Excel as a calculator. So that's if you're going to make a model. But what we're going to do is we're just going to use Excel as a calculator. So you type equals binom dist, open bracket, in the space next to the little FX button. You click on the FX button. Oh, by the way, before you do that, which is quite handy, if you really know what you're doing and you don't want to go that far, you can just type equals binom dist, open bracket, and this little yellow thing down here tells you what to do. So that's sort of a shortcut. But if you're not sure what you're doing, you go to the grey box, which tells you exactly what to do. So number S is number of successes, so we just put a 2 in there. Number of trials is 4. Oops, not 3. Our probability of a success is, turn on and unlock, was 0.1. Okay, now the only tricky bit here is this one here, which says cumulative. Now, cumulative means that stuff comes together. You know, when you talk about accumulating rubbish, accumulating stuff means bringing it all together. So cumulative means that the probabilities are added together. Now, in this one, we don't want to know accumulated probabilities. We want to know the probability that exactly 2 people will express interest. So this is not cumulative, so we write false in there. And then we go, OK, and we get the answer, which is 0.046. And if you're going to be giving it to a certain number of decimal places in the test, use the little decimal place buttons here to do it for you, and that way they always round correctly. I can't remember which one to use. So say I want it to 2 decimal places. I get this other little decimal place number here and go doing, 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 and it rounds it for you, and you'll always get it correct if you use that. Well, as long as you put the right things in, it's sort of like garbage in, garbage out.